A lot of Brock Purdy stuff today, and it all started probably because he went on the Pat McAfee show to talk about a bunch of different things. But we found out this really interesting story about Brock Purdy. Now, obviously, what you've seen today, you've seen the John Deere commercial, probably. I just did a video on that on my channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you could check that out. But Brock Purdy, I guess during this shoot, which happened in downtown San Francisco, where they were shooting Brock and Colton McKivitz, drive this tractor. Apparently, a coyote almost attacked a news reporter, and it's honestly pretty wild. The whole situation and how it all played out. But rather than hear it from me, hear it from Brock directly, as he went on the Pat McAfee show to discuss how if it wasn't for him, there's a good chance that this news reporter in San Francisco could have got attacked by a coyote. Brock Purdy, superhero? I don't know. You watch this and let me know what you think on the other side.
You saved a reporter. A coyote was coming during a John Deere shoot. A coyote started tracking down a local CBS reporter and her dog. And Brock Purdy, here's the video right here. Sorry, it's a photo. They spell your name wrong on the right corner. Prudy's new gig. Don't love that. Don't love that. Back on his tractor, but this lady right here, I watched this video this morning. She said, I just happened upon Brock Purdy and a couple offensive linemen and John Deere tractors in the middle of San Francisco. And then funny story, I was walking my dog away and I hear Brock Purdy yell, "Coyote!" I turn around, biggest coyote I ever seen was stalking me and my dog or whatever. You saved a life, you saved a dog, you shot a John Deere tractor commercial in San Francisco, you're pick 262, leading a team to the Super Bowl in your second year. You're a magic man, Brock. Keep going, brother. We appreciate the hell out of you.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I can't believe that was a real thing, but yeah, she walked by and then sure enough, she said she's a news anchor, and I was like, dude, I just saved a news anchor's life from getting eaten by a coyote, but it's real, man. I can confirm it. So
she said that coyote was like the biggest. She said like big ass. I didn't know San Francisco had coyote. What the hell's going on over there?
I didn't either, dude. We're shooting this commercial by a hill on the outside of the city, and I see this thing, trotting by, and it had a long tail. I was like, bro, it looks like a mini wolf. And sure enough, no one was gonna scream, and I was like, all right. And so I screamed, and I was like, yo, there's a coyote, and that thing went running off. But yeah, it could have been an ugly day on the shoot, but we saved her.
Hey, that's Brock Purdy football.
That's right.
That's Brock Purdy football out there. Purdy.
I think, Brock's wherewithal, awareness, dare I say, is showcased here by being able to see that a coyote was kind of stalking this dog and potentially like plotting its attack on the dog and potentially this news reporter. And I think the whole thing is funny. Just the wildest things, man, with Brock that continue to play out. It's funny, man, because we heard from Brock today earlier about his critics and how he blocks out the noise, and we hear a lot about like his sponsors and all of those things because of how much money he's making being the last pick in the NFL draft. And then it's just like, oh, well, here's another thing. He saved a local news reporter from a coyote. It's just like this guy, he's great, dude. Like he really is. You know, I think we all believe that Brock Purdy is the franchise quarterback. I think we all feel confident in saying that. I think we all, and I think that's saying a lot too, just because of the last couple years, the last decade, the last 2 decades of just quarterback play and trying to figure out who was going to be the next guy. After Steve Young, obviously we had Jeff Garcia, who played pretty well. But then after that, it was just like, man, just really trying to figure out who that guy was going to be. And every time we thought we had someone, it didn't work out in the end. And it just feels like with Brock, it's a little bit different. It feels like there is some real continuity, some real solid foundation that we're working on with him. And this feels like a guy who is good for the right reasons, and based on those reasons, you can solidify that there's likely not going to be a ton of regression. Now, guys are going to have bad games. It's par for the course. No one plays perfect. And so that's not at all what I'm saying. It's just more of the sense of, we saw guys crash and burn after we thought they were going to be the future. And if there's anything that we've seen with Brock, is he's ascended amidst scrutiny, amidst, coming back from a serious injury. And he's just blocked out the noise and continued to thrive. And so it's just like stories like this where that just build on to the legend of Brock Purdy, build on to the aura of QB1 and all that stuff, man. And again, like I've talked about, I was just at this camp with them and spent, a solid 4 hours just kind of following him around, had the opportunity to talk to him. And he just feels like he is that calming presence on the franchise, and I think it's the same calming presence he brings to the huddle. I talked to Aaron Banks about this at the Super Bowl, and he just says there's a presence that Brock brings that just gives a quiet confidence to everyone. And I think that you can feel that throughout the franchise. So he's saving coyotes, he's blocking out the noise, he's getting to work. That's quarterback one. That's franchise. Feel pretty good in saying it. Doesn't feel crazy. And I think it's cool considering how much of the arguments there were about Brock and who he was and what he was in training camp, to be like we're staring at another training camp just already knowing like it's Brock's our guy. So I'm happy about that. I'm sure you're happy about that too as a 49er fan. But what do you think about the Coyote story? What do you think? Do you think Brock is the franchise guy? Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.
We rolling?